And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. This is your host, Paul Gaither. This is NCAA 2014. And the title of the video tells you exactly what to expect, exactly what we want to find today. We are going to continue with playbooking. And it is a holiday where I live. It is All Souls Day, if I remember the correct term here. November the 1st. Hope you're having a great time, no matter when you're watching this, live or otherwise. I'm getting everything set up while I'm talking, multi-managing, team management, custom playbooks. It's my intention to try to keep from getting completely sidetracked, and yet you know me, I probably still will. We're going to take a look at the plays that I have added / removed into my playbook as is. When we go to ACE, that is the first letter in the alphabet, A, and we see we have 9 runs, 6 passes, and something cool of the many cool things that I have found is that I've discovered where I can automatically set my custom playbook to always be my playbook, to always be my baby. And I've also set it where we have auto passing in practice mode. That's not available in Madden. Let's go. You also see the total count, 9 and 6. That makes 15, which is divisible by 3, which means it fills out our playbook without any gaps. So one of the main purposes here of the big formation is it can be run out of both the left and the right hash of the field. X option, we're going to find out if it's actually any good, is intended to be run out of the left hash, with the tight end A button flaring out to the sideline with lots of room without running out of football field, and the X in the option route is just going to go down the sidelines. He's going to run a slant or he's going to curl underneath. Curl is his main option, so there's no conflict in terms of the hash mark and the sideline or catching things out of bounds. We obviously have the wide receiver quick and the plays that are going to fake it. Here with under, because of the whip route by X, he can fake the slant, which is a common route that we're going to run from the left hash mark, and yet he can still whip it out of bounds without having a problem of catching out of bounds or being thrown out of bounds or whatever. Also, the running back is flaring out to the sidelines without running out of room. Y is making a double move. The fact is, in another play, we're going to attack that flag route that the double move is then faking and setting up. So we have both a slant and a flag route that we can fake, and that maybe even as a user we could auto throw. Even though I've got it set up for the computer, there might be opportunities where we might choose to auto throw or to self throw it if we wanted to. Tight end option out, this is going to be on the right hash with the delay release to the left. The circus route by X is going to be out to the left. That makes sense. We have power O, we have play action YN. I don't know if this is any good. We are definitely going to have to practice it, but that's one of the features. And the play action post is another one. I'm not sure if it's actually going to work. And then there's a whole series of plays that we don't like that I've already practiced multiple times, and we've shown that it doesn't work. We have the misdirection, we have the zone weak, we have the 18 slant or slant 18, we have the slam play, the counters and the counter traps, and then we have the fake quick, just the regular halfback dive. And here is a play we were talking about right here. While a slant and what X is doing are not exactly the same, the little whip play, we are attacking the flag with the Y button tight end. And then we're also having an inside breaking route. This time it's just a straight up cross. And those are the plays from Big. In Big Twins, we see 7 and 8. 7 and 7 is 14, plus 1 is 15, divisible by 3, means we shouldn't have any gaps in the book. Not that there are plays that I'm specifically leaving on the ground from floor, but there are some plays that maybe we're just less interested in. I do like having a wide receiver screen when they're twinsed up, a lot less on the tight end side. So I like at least trying to twins that up, especially if they're not trying to directly man up our 2 wide receivers that side. And we actually have a little bit of an advantage. We're going to see how that works out. X spot definitely has the inside slot breaking out. This is the entire formation is designed to be on the right hash mark completely. Where regular big is supposed to be on either hash mark, big twins is right hash mark only. Obviously you can flip it to be on the left hash marks, but you're basically having a 3-by-1 combination with the tight end really tight to you. So you really want to be on the right hash in the default. Flip it if you want to go with that, but that's a whole other issue. So the Y tight end is just flaring out to those sidelines, and you've got X crossing back in and all of that and so forth. So here with Smash, the only reason why I'm allowing this to exist is because the running back's route is not a straight flare to the sidelines, but up and over. So he's not going to completely run out of bounds by the time you get it. But also we have this route by A. So in X spot, the A button wide receiver, the tight end in this case, the A button receiver, I should say, not wide receiver, is running the post, and in Smash, he's running the flag. So his break, his stem, whoever's covering him, knows that he's going upfield, but he doesn't know which break that he's going to see. Whoever's covering him is not reading the other side of the field. They're reading his specific man. So it gets us different kinds of route combinations. Speaking about slants and actions, we have traditional slant. And what's really nice and interesting about this combination is X and B create a lion combination, but X and Y create a dragon combination. So it is literally a dragon-lion combination. I'm not a big fan of what A is doing here, but if I remember correctly in the play art, he actually is designed, when you go to the practice field, he kind of has like a little curl stop. He doesn't flare straight out of bounds, and if the quarterback throws it to him, he's just catching out of bounds. Rollout smash. This is a play I'm more willing to try on the left hash mark and flipping it. With a right-handed quarterback, this could be a left-handed quarterback play. It's, again, we're going to practice it. Not all of these plays I'm guaranteed and married to, but the idea is we could even have that classic Shanahan, like escape to the left, naked boot left, or whatever. Teams aren't expecting it. Get the little bit of block, and we've got a couple high shots. We've got a little weak shot underneath, sucking up the defense, thinking they're going to get a quarterback sack and then throw behind them to X or whatever. Power option. We're, again, going to the narrow side of the field, but it's just a simple, like, or do we run it up the alley or do we pitch it out? It's a nice little option. Play action dig is a classic. Yeah, it says dig. I'm accustomed to, I believe it's called dagger, is the B and X combination, I believe, is a dagger combo, and a mesh combo underneath. We can see if that's any good. The halfback smash, the slant 18 all over again, classic misdirection, the dive, the counter, the blunt dive, flood. It's the name. We're like flooding the weak side of the field. We've got high, a medium, and a low, all going towards that side of the field. And again, A has a specific route right there, again to the post. And so we have another play where A is going to the post. I'm less comfortable with this. Flood here, the tight end Y is going to the flat, but we're changing the combinations. B is going all the way to the flag, like deep. And X is actually curling underneath instead of running a go route. So he can just come up with that quick stop. If the corner thinks he's just going to go, he can actually stop underneath it or whatever. There's a few different things that we're looking at. Not a big fan of having RB flaring out to the sidelines and running out a football field. It is what it is. Then we can take a look at the plays that we're not using, and I'm just not a fan of several of these different looks. This can be a bit of a zone beater. There's a little bit of high-low over the middle. I'll try it. I'm willing to try it. That's the thing. And then X3901 says, yo, and X, I told you, X going to give it to you. Hey, X, I am going to incorporate NBA games into my video stream, but I want to be able to get this project done, X. I'm doing a lot of playbooking. I've done a long project on Madden. And I'm finishing this project on college football in terms of playbooks and sliders and all of that. And I'm going to try to incorporate, and especially if you're here and others are here, maybe even alternate like a basketball day and a football day or something. Like, you encouraged me to do that. The fact that you're here again, like, gives me the extra encouragement that I'm going to give you a 90% promise that we're going to do NBA next, because you've made it to 2 of my streams, and I want to reward you for being here. Because sometimes people, like, they talk a game and then they don't show up, but you showed up, bro. And I want to reward you, and I want to give you that promise. Like, there might be something that comes up. I know people love to watch football, but you have rewarded me with your loyalty to come back, and I want to reward you. In fact, if we go through this, we might even add a little bit to the stream just to thank you. But I definitely want to go through this. So I want to make sure that I have that clear shout out to X here and show the love, as I do to all of my audience. So we're going over here to bunch. Bunch is a formation that can be tight on the right hash mark, So all of those bunched players, like they're not all the way out to the sideline. So here with clear out split end option, you can basically have an in breaking and then circus route. Y button flares out all the way out there. In a similar way, you still have that circus and flare from the X and the Y button, but then you have a different combination from the bunch. So that's always really good. Whenever we go here with Z spot, however, you don't really want to be bunched up because of RB going out to the flat like that. Right, that's the issue. We don't really want that. So this is, to me, more of a left hash mark. Bring X a little bit closer to the screen. Not a big fan of this combination. We don't like the tosses. I don't like the mirrored routes here. I just don't like mirrored routes in general. Stick can be in the same family as Z spot, where RB is flaring out, but a different combination. So again, left hash, we can bunch into the middle of the field. That's the other thing that's really beautiful about that. We've got spacing and spacing switch and stick. We can see X is running a slant and a slant and a slant and variables in the slants, and you're like, oh, all X is going to do is run slants. Well, that's also part of the fun, folks. That if X is constantly going to give it to you, if X is going to give you slants, that's the beauty of these circus routes, is they look like just another slant is coming, but it's not. That's the thing. It's not a slant, and we're going to get you and get down the field. So that's good old-fashioned football. Again, the quick pitches and all of that. Didn't really like the sprint out. I like the idea of sprint outs. Don't really like the combination here, but you know what? I'm still willing to take a look at it. The play action end around, the biggest thing is we've got to see if the regular wide receiver end around actually works well. We kind of want this off of a right hash and get the ball all the way out to the left hash, and with the option to cut it up the field. We want to have the fake so that we can set it up and test them out. And then we can also, okay, hit the wrong button here. We can also basically have the play action version of it. So the 3 married plays are really nice. Again, let's assume that we're bunched up to the right, to the boundary, and we can just naked boot. It's not truly naked, but it's a play action boot, right? And it's a classic Shanahan play. We've got someone escaping out to the flats, and then we've got some layered routes over here, along with X as a clear out / alert, fire, whatever, if there is broken coverage. Just the regular slash. See, we can have the end around fake, but we can also just have the classic old slash. We can have the dive if we don't want the slash. Halfback angle. This is another play on the left hash mark I'm more interested in, especially if we're going to have the running back flare out to the flats in some plays. It's nice to have the angle route to keep the defense honest. Here is destroy, another left hash mark kind of play because the route by X, but also the route of RB. You've kind of got a weird little scissor action here, and basically you're attacking some middle of the field, you're attacking some high-low with RB and A. You've got a little bit of everything working for you here. So there's a little bit of left-right hash mark business. This is the classic Boise State plays that we have to have in the playbook, even if we don't run them and they don't work well in the game. I figure I can sacrifice 3 plays in my playbook for those. Jumbo Z is more or less exclusively left hash mark, so where we saw Big Twins exclusively right hash mark, we definitely want the Jumbo Z to be left hash mark / flip it, right? And we can see 8 and 4 equals 12 divisible by 3. We shouldn't have any gaps. Now, that's not necessarily true here. When we looked at Classic Bunch, is we've got 12 and 4, that's 16. We're going to have one play all by itself, and that play, at least at the moment, is going to be that QB sprint out. We want to see if it's any good. I'm willing to cut it. There are plays I'm willing to cut. We don't have to exactly have divisible by 3, but it's something that I personally like. I don't like having holes in my playbook. Taking a look at the plays here, the thing I like stick normally, but I don't like this kind of stick play because I don't like not having the quick slant, like a backside slant. It's something that's important to me. It says slot middle. I want to remove that because it's a default audible and now put it back, and I want to set my own audibles. But the fact is, even though we're on the left hash, we have plenty of room for RB to take off. It's not like straight slant like Dragon and Lion, so it's not really a Dragon-Lion combo, but it kind of is in the same family, just a little bit deeper, and you've got the quick out by the tight end. You've got a QB sneak that's not in the goal line, so I absolutely love that and want to reward that being in the playbook, that we don't just have to call QB sneak from goal line. So this isn't the tush push play. This came out before that though, but you get the idea. We can power option to the field. Not a big fan of this specific play action zone counter, but since we see it, let's have the conversation here by scrolling over here. I like the idea in principle of having the third tight end come in, pretend he's a fullback, and just help us blast to the weak side. Line it up, and we got Denny in the comments. Let's go. You've been leaving for work. You will be leaving for work soon, but until then, let's go. I appreciate it, Denny. Even if it's just popping in and out, absolutely love it. It's a holiday. Maybe you'll even catch up or whatever. I like the idea in principle of having this as a feature. And as I've said in my Madden videos, if I'm going to have one, then I need a series of brother plays that work with it. Power toss is supposed to be part of them. It's a play that they sometimes get stuck, and we've seen that, and we've seen also sometimes other running backs don't get stuck. So I'm willing to roll the dice on this. I'm willing to at least try it. We know we might get stuck from time to time. We know a play might not work every time. So maybe, especially when a backup comes in and the starter is tired and we're trying to run out the game, maybe we can use it. Maybe it'll work. Maybe it won't. We'll just call it once in a game. Maybe twice in a game at most, right? We'll just see, oh, it worked this time or it didn't, whatever. But the real play is the counter. Because how many of these situations are we truly going to run into? It's the idea of we know that we need short yardage. We know that we're going to be compact. We know that we're, let's say, on the left or far right hash mark, whatever it is. We want the guy set up to the field, and then we're just going to try to blast you off the field by overloading to the left-hand side. And then the fact that we are successful with it is why we're willing to hit you with the counter. We specifically want to probably just keep this as a core play and keep this as an audible, so that if they are just so set up to stop the halfback zone weak, that we've got, let it roll, but that's actually a code word for kill it or something. We can say, hey, we can say H zone weak, roll means kill, roll means kill, roll means kill. Set it up, let it roll, and then that's actually a kill. You can just say that in the huddle. Roll means kill, right? You can just say H zone weak left, kill flip. There's whatever code words you want to do, you just got to practice it with your team, right? So whatever the words mean, and they go check, or they nod, or whatever. There's all kinds of ways you can communicate in the huddle, right? So I was talking about that, and I was almost going to get distracted right there. But the point is, if you have the regular play, and if you have the play action counter, the counter, and the danger here is they are super set up, because if they're balanced, just hit them. But if they're overbalanced to one side, and then you were able to hit them with a counter, and you're able to threaten them and make them scared or whatever, and we've got to be a certain distance away so that these post routes are good, then and only then can we super pull this out of the bag of tricks, right? But we need the smart quarterback, the good accurate quarterback, and all that. And we need to set up everything else before we worry about it. But it's in our bag of tricks, and it just adds a few more plays because we're only at 13 plays, right? Because I added the other one, we were basically at 12 plays. We don't even have very many. It's just in our bag of tricks. So in order to have play action boot left, we need to at least be able to run to the field. And we need to see which animation that is, but I'm willing to bet it's going to be something like smash or not plunge, but dive. We're probably faking dive, or because of the roll, we're probably faking the halfback smash zone kind of play. Whatever the case is, we need to have the confidence and the capability to actually hammer that play out, right? This is kind of a weak dive because we actually have the extra tight end on the right-hand side plus the receiver, but really this is the strong side. To the left of center are only 3 players, to the right of center are 4. So it's this is a weak kind of run play, and you're running between the guard and the tackle. The guard and the center. And the running back might be able to bounce it weak, but whatever. And then the counter weak is really based off of dive. right? Dive and then counter weak. And then we already talked about those plays, and then we have classic drive. So just a classic drop back play. When you think that we're going to run the ball at you, we're actually going to hit you with the drive pass, which again, I don't have a lot of confidence in. Denny, let's go. It says play action counter strong in Madden. I love that play between 15 and 20 on the hash. Exactly. You got it, Denny. It gives you enough time to it gives you a situation where you might be running it down their throat. And then it gives you enough space, not time is what I was saying, gives you enough space to actually get in the end zone and threaten something without running out the back of the end zone. Especially the closer, if you're in a situation, let's say it's 3rd and 1 on the 22 or whatever, 3rd and 1 on the 18, that's the thing, right? You want one of those short yardages, you're trying to get it, but you still have enough room to throw it. You're not backed up on the middle of the field, at the 50 or whatever, right? But this is also really good, that 40-yard line, your 42-yard line, and the 40 is the first down kind of thing. The idea is the 40-yard line is approximately the to go, and instead of cooking the punt, you line up in one of these, and you're hitting them with those other plays. That's how it feels. It says, but it can get ugly on the play action, but unsure what causes it. Well, we're going to have to check. That's the beauty, as I mentioned earlier, maybe you heard it, maybe you didn't, that there's the auto pass feature that works in practice, yo. It's going to be really good. I continue to work on this ace slot, and you know what? I was asking myself, what do we want? I did in my Madden video talking about being on left hash, right hash, because the NFL hashes are drawn basically in line with the field goal post, but that's not the case in college. And I found myself, what I really want to do is I want the tight end to the boundary and the 2 wide receivers to the field, and I only want plays that represent and respect that. So that's what I did. All the Z close, the number one reason Z close is gone is because we don't have 2 runs, like a core run and a counter or whatever. So since I can't run out of Z close, then we're just telling the team what we're going to run, which is not runs, and I don't like it. I really like the fact that you have got the corner, and then usually you've got, in Madden, you actually had a variation where he attacks the corner, and then he can also corner post that thing. The crosses are kind of nice, but they just got to go. So this is the point. Z under, great play in Madden. I use it in Madden for our Jaguars franchise because I can have the ball on the left hash, the running back flaring out to the side, and still hit Y without running out of space. But in this game, the left hash mark is so far to the left that that's not the case anymore. And I don't like having just the tight end and the B button towards the field in college football. So some plays that would go in Madden just don't go in here. So I'm going to save you and respect your time when talking about the other plays, but that's a concept in there. So Y option totally works. I haven't been a fan of these levels plays in this video game. I don't know if levels just works better in Madden, if it's my settings of difficulty that finally make the game more challenging, but levels just doesn't get open across the board. It doesn't attack anything, and the quarterback really struggles with it. X under, this is one play, and it looks like we got more guests in here. Looks like we got Michael. It says, and I'm here, what's up, Michael? And then it said, you wanted to wish you well since I will be gone for a while. Oh no, Michael. Let us know when you get back, and I hope everything's okay. Let me keep reading the comment. It says, I also plan on doing my next episode of a podcast that I'm doing. You know what, Michael? Do me a favor, if you're still in here, is drop the information. I know YouTube likes to shadow ban links, but try to drop some info about your channel or whatever, saying I got a podcast coming up in the comments section, because I can read those comments. But in this top chat, stuff will disappear. So drop me a link, say, hey, I'm going to be doing my podcast today or whatever. Set your alarm for tomorrow. Leave me something, Michael, for me and the comment so we can share the love right back for you, okay? Because that's what's up with this community. We're a group. I'm just the one on camera. And then, obviously, I partially missed Denny's comment. Said it's a beautiful shot on second and short. Exactly, Denny. The thing I didn't like about the bunch up is I don't like to be bunched up on second and short. Personally, Denny, I don't like to be bunched up on second and short. I like to be spread out. I like the fact that I could just inside zone it to you if you want to be spread out on second down too, and I can threaten you with that, the fact that I'll do it. Because sometimes just move the damn chains. Just keep the clock running and all that. Like, I love taking shots on second and short, but I don't have to take a shot on second and short. And I want you to know that I'm willing to just run the ball on your ass and potentially pick up 8 yards or whatever, because you're all spread out trying to protect against the play action. And I'll take that free play and I'll just grind it out and let my offensive linemen eat and like pound you and so on and so forth. And if you actually try to respect it, that's when I'm going to play action you. But it's usually I don't like to box up on second and short. I like to have my speed on the field, right? But that's just me. Michael says it's about late night 2 a.m. ish for you right now. Okay. I'm in Peru, so we're like kind of close to East Coast time zone in the United States. And you're saying that's when the podcast is going to be, or that's what time zone it is for you right now, okay? And he says it's basically about college football and NFL stuff. Like I said, I'm going to spread the love, Michael. Just make sure you remind me, because I know my ADHD brain. If I don't have a specific reminder, I'm going to forget, and I try to work my life around that. You say you may get started with it in a while, since you'll be free for somewhat in a bit. Okay. Are you planning on doing the podcast like now? If you are, I'm going to definitely check it out like after I'm done doing my thing. I wasn't sure if those were two separate ideas. So since you're going to be gone for a while, maybe that's what you meant by gone for a while. Like, are you gone for like a week, or are you gone because you're going to do your podcast? I guess contextually, it's not clear to me, but let me know when I normally do the podcast at 2 a.m. Okay, cool. But that's the beautiful thing about podcast and my live thing, right? Is we can always check it out. So yeah, I'm sorry for being confused, but sometimes the English language, like, you can all state facts, and yet the details get lost in, like, the intention, right? And then I'm distracted trying to do this, and I get, like, myself distracted. So let me know for clarity, right? Because I totally want to support you and the rest of my community, right? You got Vic Vids, Sports NATO. If he's even listening right now, he opened up his second channel, his Sports NATO, so he can talk about basketball and other things and not confuse his audience, so it's really good. And then I'm going to check for the comments in just a second there, Michael. So getting back to this, Y option should be simple. In zone, he sits on it, and man, he escapes out. And we know what we want to talk about. Even here, look at the RB button. He's blocking to the left. At least he's opening to the left, even though he's not flaring out to the left. The pass protection literally intends for him to go left. So the linebackers, whatever, have to like respect the fact that he's like leaning left. And that's why we're on the right hash mark here. So X under, here's the thing that I was going to get to. It's one of the few times that I would legitimately consider user passing, even though I like to let the computer do all the passing, because I do like the feature of A on this corner route that you can hit the back step of your drop and he can be open and I can just feed him, but we're not like breaking up the what do you call, like, all verticals and just throwing it down the field, down the center of the field, and just cutting the computer apart. But if it's open, just hit our back step and mash A, like a one read as a human. But otherwise, don't touch the controller when we snap the ball and just let the play run, like, let it operate. And the fact that we can hit that play and then make the computer respect that we are willing to hit that play so that they try to defend it so that the double move can work, I hope that makes sense. That's one of the few times I would actually consider doing that. And the same thing in Madden. I've done a long video where we broke down human-like plays, and I'm kind of considering applying that human aspect from time to time just to add to a little bit of the fun, but maybe not use them in the crunch time, but just like a middle of the game, like second quarter, third quarter, make like one play on an entire drive kind of play, if that makes any sense, or at least try for it. Tell me what you think about that. I think it makes it just a little bit interesting, a little bit fun, because the computer can handle the rest of the play, but it won't take that shot. Everything should be obvious here. The RB button, how he tries to look to the left, the way the whip routes work, the fact that A can actually attack that flag route here just like he is here, which also whip unders should try to influence the person covering A with that post. So like instead of the user doing it, we can just do that while we still have underneath plays and so forth. I'm going to check the comments again. Looks like Michael dropped another one that says, no worries, my brain isn't very bright too, so I get it. Yeah, exactly, bro. Like, we're all working together. We're all the crew together. The screen, I mentioned it before, I'm not a big fan of the tight end wide receiver screen combination, especially specifically to the wide receiver. I like having the blockers, but here's the main reason why. Is any half-decent defensive end that can read the play will just, especially in the compression of the field, like it's a small area, he's not asked to flare all the way out to the sidelines. They can just ruin this play for you as soon as you get the ball off. And sure, having a pulling tackle and a tight end out to block for you, technically, like there's like 3 line arrows. So you've got a guard, a tackle, and a tight end all pulling out for you as a convoy in front of you. Often, because of the compressed field, the defensive end just ruins your day and tackles you before you do anything. It can be explosive, but the other thing is Madden and these NCAA games, these EA games I should call them, they're really slow with, like, since this 2013 game came out, like they chug, like they come to a complete stop, lose all their locomotion, and then they have to completely restart, and they like get really sluggish and slow getting down the field. They're not as quick hitters as like real life, like a speed guy. You get the ball to him, snap real quick, and he takes off running. The game is like he starts chugging and chugging to get going. And I think it's like a little bit of Band-Aid to keep the play from just being super busted like it was in the past. This is a play that I would normally put in the book, but the computer just mentally struggles with it so much that I've decided to cut it. The same is true for several of these other plays. I'm going to check the comments again. Nothing new. That's awesome. It says speed option. Again, we're just optioning towards the field. Okay? Especially how they want to line up against our slot wide receiver. If they want to be soft, we can hit with bubbles. And if they want to be soft, that gives the receiver time to go up, attack, and block. And we have the pitch man and everything. And we're attacking the open field. Right, with 2 players, both the running quarterback and the back itself, right? Same reason you should understand why I don't have this play or this play in the book. It should make sense here. Normally, you know me, I would not want A leaking out to the sideline like that in the short field, but because he's a delay route, he may just be blocking as a 6th man to help us against the blitz, and because he's a delayed route, that delay lets him not run out of bounds immediately during our drop back. And then obviously the rest of the flaring action, and we have a little bit of high-low clear out against the zone with B and Y underneath. We've got some interesting things here. You should understand why I don't want that or that. You should understand that we already have a variation of this with the double move by A, so it's just inferior. This can be to the short side of the field, which can be interesting. We can even ask our Z receiver to go across in motion and become a 3-by-1 formation, or he can be a blocker, or if they're off the ball or whatever. And in a short field, we can just whip around our tight end and have the pitch optioned out to the sidelines, and the quarterback runs up the alley and slides or whatever. I like this Power O with fake bubble a lot more than just normal boring Power O, just because it's less boring. He fakes the bubble screen. Because he's doing the bubble screen, it causes the corner in man coverage or a flats defender to truly flare out, and they're in a less useful backside pursuit against the power run. Whereas going upfield, whoever's covering him can then just break off and attack us, as opposed to being pulled towards the sideline. So I like that even better. And I see double comments. Wide receiver screen. A better design would be an ace pair set with tight ends running quick outs and the receiver on a smoke. I like it, Denny. No disagreement there. Hard to do with the offensive line because of the illegal downfields that they don't even call in this game. You know what, Denny? But I've talked about it in my other videos, how the fact that they do go downfield is one of those things that I like to cut for my own realism. I don't ever see the video game call it. That's something that All Pro Football 2K8 and 2K5 would call, but this game wouldn't. In fact, that's one of the big complaints about Madden and EA is they don't call those plays, or those penalties, I should say. But instead of cheesing the system, let's just not run them in our offense for our simulation-style franchise, right? And then it says, of course, EA didn't get that far out of the box. Yeah, and then you finish my idea right there, or I finish your idea, whichever way you want to say it. You said it first, so I guess it's yours, right? The play actions, they should be very obvious. These are some of them, or one or more of them, I was actually using in our Jaguars franchise. Again, because I'm fine with being on the left hash mark, but not here. I'm willing to try play action tight end screen because that can influence the defensive end a little bit more. The wide receiver is literally going down the field to influence the corner, so there's also fewer people out there to stop our tight end. The problem that I had in Madden with Mercedes Lewis in our franchise is, again, the locomotion and just being like a dead stop. I'm willing to still try it and see how it works in the college game here. So it doesn't mean we're married to all of these plays. This should be obvious. Again, there's the delay and everything, but we're on the right hash mark. We've got Y dragging all the way across. We've got B taking off and then attacking the sideline like a little high-low with B and Y button. There's some interesting stuff to play with here. Play action slot. I was in practice mode and we were hitting the tight end a lot, and you have a little bit of the same idea with Y and B clear out that we had with the stretch version, but instead of faking the stretch, we're faking the inside run. We also have that little circus route fake. Instead of just a circus post, instead of a circus route, it's just an inside breaking post. So that's really nice and just keeping things honest. The regular play action power O, I've said before how I don't like this because we're not actually faking the power O. We don't have a puller like they actually really did with the Colts and the Patriots famously. It should be obvious why I don't like this. I don't like a circus route to the boundary. I do like a circus route out to the field, though, which takes us back here. If play action slot cross fakes the circus route and hits the post, play action flow actually is the circus route. So X is allowed to show them two different looks, and we still have a bit of a cross with A, and with flow, A is still going across, but we have other things, other good routes. I really like it. I don't like the counter waggle, and it should be obvious why. Here's the corner post, so another situation where we kind of have Y and B high-lowing, though not as extreme. Here's another situation where we practice this in Madden, and we know that we don't have enough time to hit X on that route, but I do like at least the storytelling aspect of like faking the corner out that we might hit that corner, though I also don't like the fact that we don't actually have that route. We don't actually have that corner for X to hit. So it's half a dozen one, half dozen the other, but it's another style of a crossing play. That's interesting. These should be easy and obvious why I'm not running them. I see another comment, maybe Denny heading out. It says, yeah, you got to go, but you'll be back for the rerun. Loving the content. Thank you so much, Denny. Thank you, Michael, and everyone. Keep it up. Keep me informed. Everyone that's in here, and we're just going to keep this thing running as though you're watching it live. And I mentioned before, not a real fan of Levels Divide. I love it in real life. It's a very conflicting play. You have all kinds of action, especially what Y can do on a release, and the fact that the Y can just run a go like he does in Dagger Concepts, that he can break out to the left or the right, like he can option it, because even in real life, Y has multi-options. I believe these Levels Divide and these 60-61 plays, I haven't shown 60-61 here, but I did in Madden, are the ones where EA actually has like multi-option routes for multiple players. This is a kind of play where literally everyone kind of has their own options, where even A and Y have a little bit of high-low if A decides to run the post and splitting safeties, and then you've got a high-low threat against the linebacker where if he tries to cut off A or whatever, tries to drift with A as he splits, then you're leaving Y open underneath, and if they sit on Y, then A can go over the top and split players. And the fact that we're running down the seam with Y can also pull the safety or make him respect it, and then suddenly you're digging underneath it. There's all kinds of interesting things that are happening in real life on the left hash mark, but there's the hash mark issue that I've already mentioned. It's a very good NFL play. There's a lot to talk about, but it's just not for me in the college game. And I don't mind, like, okay, yeah, we flip it or whatever, but it's like, look where the running back's flaring, just everything. The way that the video game doesn't handle the comeback for B very well. The fact that we're oftentimes in just a 5-man protection and we have a deep breaking route combination. Like, if we want in terms of B and A, that means the pass protection needs to hold up for a long time. And they often bump and press our receivers, and X gets messed up and doesn't get open. There's so many factors that maybe just having NFL quality wide receivers, NFL level route running, NFL level strength or whatever allows X to get open, where in the college game it just doesn't work. And if I've got an elite receiver, I'm probably doing more than running and under, right? So it's a good play in Madden, and it's not a play we want, but that's also part of the fun, right? To me, that's part of the fun, is we're making the college game and the pro game feel at least to some degree a little different is my goal. I don't want it completely different. I want to get my players ready so that they can play in the league as well. But at least we have some differences, or we never ran that play in college, right? To me, those are like the storytelling aspects too. You know, we never ran that play in college, right? So we're learning something new out here. Or yeah, this works here and that works there, and some of these college plays don't work, like these power options or whatever. I'm not running Chad Henne on these option plays, right? Power option, speed option, whatever, right? So like the college kid will run it and the other kid won't, or whatever. I hope that makes sense. Some plays are repeated, like here we've got like X tight. I don't really want the X tight. I don't want the auto motions. The swing, again, should be obvious why I'm not running it. I already have a stretch. It's the 18 slant or slant 18. We've got the pump draw, and again, I've got two different draw plays. I've got the quick pump that fakes the bubble screen, can fake the shot, and then I have a normal draw, and I think both are a lot of fun. If I remember correct, I have both of them. So the regular drop back draw and the quick pump draw. And we've also got two different ways that we're faking the bubble, so you know we've got to have the bubble in the book as well. We've got the dive, we've got the cutback and the counter, so I want to see how they both function. And I like the fact that we've got two different versions of that kind of weak side run, just to have a little extra variety, the spice of life, if you will. It's often recommended in the NCAA game not to run verticals or whatever. One, if you're using it as a user, you can just pick apart the computer. Like, the computer struggles covering four verts. It really does. The thing is, if they're like in cover 5, which is the two-man, too high man under, then you just don't have anything. They're just going to run with you and cover deep and just shut you down, and you've got no options. And if they're not in that play, then you just cut them up the seams. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's football, baby. That's part of the game. Spread them out. Like, do all of that. It's great X's and O's. Sometimes you just got to run down the field. And sometimes you just got to vertical them up. It's boring to a degree. Like, unleash the dragon, throw it deep. It's sexy. But it's also like, it's the video game, not humans. So it's not as rewarding as it is to physically execute it against other human beings. Like, it's rewarding and fun in real life, but it's just, to me as an adult, like, oh, I could just call 4 verticals almost every play, and then when it's not there, throw to the running back or just scramble with my fast quarterback. It might be fun when you're 12 or you're 16, but against the computer, it just gets cheap and dull and repetitive, and you've seen it before. And I just like more versatility in my game and driving the ball down the field. I like the threat of it. Like, I could put it in the playbook, but I'm never going to call it. Just the threat that I could call it on you kind of thing. So I'm not against it. I just don't see the value in it. It's just not fun. Auto motions, we've done those to death. And again, this should be obvious. It's another Madden play. Hey, we didn't play this in college. Exactly. And the defense, like, hey, I never saw that when I was in college. Like, okay. I don't really like what's going on here. The flanker middle should, again, be very obvious. Another, hey, we didn't run that in college. The flanker dig. So, it's a classic dig dagger. See, this is dagger. They're calling it dagger. One they call it dig. The other they call it dagger. It's the same concept, right? So we've also got the drag underneath, and we've got this kind of like the RB going one way and Y going the other way across the formation and pulling guys away and man or whatever. And then if it is man, like, who can win? If it's man, the only one that might win is X, because the linebacker runs with the running back, and the slot corner runs with Y, and the other linebacker runs with A, and the corner underneath, like, if it's cover 2 man under, if it's cover 5, this play is probably toast, because they're taking away everything underneath. They only need to care about one defender over the top. Like, we're probably stopping X. Like, it's probably a dead play. It's probably a throwaway or run with the quarterback play. But against everything else, there's some good stuff there. Here it says draw fake bubble. And then we saw pump draw. Now, I thought draw fake bubble was not a pump draw. I don't think it is. I think it's just a regular drop back draw. So one of them is the pump and one of them is not. And I told you I had them in there, and there they are. We've talked about it before so many times. Slogo is a nice real-life play, not a good video game play. I don't like mirrored routes. I don't like the fact that the running back is faking out to the right, which is where I'll never send him. There's a lot that I don't like about that. And then this is just an even worse version here. The cross dagger, again, a play that I'll play on the left hash mark in Madden or in real life, but not in the game. I don't like the mirrored routes. There's the bubble screen that we are willing to fake. This is a play I'm willing to come out of the huddle in and then kill to other plays. And I think when we have success with that, and or we're willing to have the power O be like the run play that we killed to, could be a thing, and the all mirrored routes, and then you look at our total play count, it's 10 and 11, which is 21, which is divisible by 3, and we have no gaps. And that takes us to wide trips. And in much the same way that slot is going to be on the right hash or flipped, wide trips is going to be on the left hash or flipped. And then for the very same set of reasons, for the sake of not having to repeat to you, I don't like things like this comebacks where X is in the narrow boundary and has no room to move. Not that I don't like the play. The thing that I do like is I can actually motion in tighter. But there's other aspects of what are the conflicts and everything. Maybe we can try it. If we know that we definitely want to motion X in closer to us and give him some more space, it could still be a good play. I might have overthought myself there, and I'm willing to give it a shot. But let's go. We basically have the weak side run. We've got the naked boot, whatever. This, to me, is like not quite goal line or not maybe a 2-point play, whatever. You've basically got the double fades, like the back corner of the end zone fades, along with like an inside trail. Kind of looks like he's going to the flats, but it's actually a trail combination with the tight end and all that. This could be a go for 2 play. This can be a short yardage play. Like this can be like goal line, like 5 yards and in. I really want it to be like 3 yards and in, honestly. You don't have to come out and goal line, hand the ball off. You can also just do this, and you can also run the ball on them. I think the threat of this and forcing them to at least go with some kind of goal line nickel, which I've said in my Madden playbook, that's why we had the 3-3-5 bear, so that you have a goal line nickel. Force them into a goal line nickel and be able to run the ball on them, so they're actually a little bit spread out and everything. Run the ball with Marshawn Lynch, right? Okay, whatever the case is. This is already auto set inside, but it has the auto motion. See, I like how X is tighter, but it has the auto motion, so it's just like, get out of here. Like, I don't like auto motions when we don't have a whole variety of plays connected. Again, I'm kind of repeating myself, but the section with Y option, now that I've mentioned that I'm willing to put the tight end, or sorry, the X receiver inside, I might be willing to try it a little bit more, and I have the play space for it. This is a play where I'm definitely I'm user motioning X inside. Here's the wide receiver screen. Now we have a lot of football field to cover, and the defensive end is less likely to be a troublemaker here. So I'm happy with that one. Though this still feels more like a goal line screen, just like we had Y trail, because he's in this weird fade situation. But this fits Boise State. Maybe we have 2nd or 3rd and goal from 2 or 3 yards out, maybe 4 yards out, whatever, and we literally have all the football field open. And I've said it before, and I'll just kind of repeat it here for everyone, or it's their first time watching or whatever, is when you go to bunch spread, this wide receiver screen was a real play that Boise State effectively ran throughout that 2007 season and other years, and would hit A for a touchdown. And the reason why the Statue of Liberty play worked is because they set it up, and the fact that this was a little legitimate play that they would literally run, and I think they even ran it in the game at one point, to get the defense to bite. So you need to set this up with success before you even consider this play. And in much the same mentality or concept, in respect to that, whatever you want to say, is I'm really happy to run this as well. and you just got the quick clear out. I don't mind running it in other situations as well, but I really, really like it. Vertical seams. I mentioned about not liking a bunch of verticals. I may like call the verts play. Again, have it in my book. Where was it? Like, just have it, but not user control it. Like, I'm not against it. I even have, like, the bunch version of the verticals. It's just not, like, call it all the time. Maybe we can make an agreement where we call it, like, once a quarter. Like, let's find, like, four different four verticals plays. And we call, like, we put it in our book, like, once per quarter. Threaten them. Show them that we're willing to do it. Most likely, here's the other thing. Bill Walsh taught us, on first down, you need to get a completion. You can't fuck around with four verticals on first down and get an incompletion or a sack and ruin your drive. You can't do it. Like, you physically can, but it's just not smart football. I agree with Bill Walsh on that idea. But that doesn't mean we're not willing to hit you with avert seams, right? And just in the same way that we're willing to play action you on second down, I'm willing to spread you out and just drop it back, right? I'm willing to call this play and then kill to a run, if that makes sense. I'm willing to call this play like 8 times in a game and actually only run it once, right? Get a look that I like, get a situation that I like, 2nd and 4 or whatever, and just go with it, right? But we're only going to actually snap it like 4 times, right? This is not exactly the goal line play, though it can be. There's a lot of, like, instead of trail, it's very similar, and we're attacking different parts of the field. And it's a short corner route, so I think this can be another good goal line play, and I think we can hot route X into a true fade. So these are, like, that's also part of the point here. If you're going to have go for 2 plays, you'd better have a series of go for 2 plays, right? That's also the beauty here of Z spot, is like a rollout go for 2 where the quarterback can even keep it and run it in himself, where the B route can just catch it past the goal line and get the 2-point play. A can catch it at the pylon and get the 2-point play. RB can catch it at the back flag and get the 2-point play. X is just slanting. You can just run with the quarterback. There's like a lot of ability here. This feels like both a combination of just left hashing it and 2-point plays. Okay? And the Wyatt Trail is a 2-point play, and some of these are like legitimate plays. That's a 2-point play. And we call them 2-point plays, but we're not afraid to just call them in that situation. That looks like a 2-point play. The reason why this one isn't is who's going to fall for the curl. Like, they're just going to cover that area tight in zone or man. No one's going to fall for the double move. It's not the same, and it doesn't work. Stick can just be, it can be a 2-point play with B hot routed into a fade, but it can also be a regular open field play, and stick and nod can be a whole thing. I don't know why X doesn't just have like a sluggo route. I would really wish there would be a sluggo route from X here. But the stick and nod can only work if you're really hitting the stick. That's the thing. You set it up, and the plays are set up. So smash, if we move B in tight, I might like it more, so we're willing to try it. This is what we should have. We should have this with the other routes. But it's not there. The drives just don't work. We've tried them before. They just don't work. The split in cross, but have him tight on the cross, might be a little bit better. The rollout, it's not really a 2-point play. We're still willing to try some things with this. And I think, yeah, we have rollout smash. So smash is a fun combination. And you have QB sprint out, so you've got a curl flat, and you've got RB clearing it out for X. So there's some interesting rollouts here. Here's a play action where he can come in tight across, and it's just a post wheel play. And if we're on the left hash mark, then A is not going way deep across the field. So if the quarterback shouldn't have the weird drift throw across his body because there's only so much football field. Play action verticals I like less so. Again, there's nothing wrong with it. Like, oh, we're going to hand it off on you, and actually it's a verticals. I mean, sure, maybe we put it in our repertoire just to have it. The play action of the stretch, if we bring in X, it could be interesting. It's still only a 3 wide receiver combination. He's faking the quick out, and that's the other thing is if we're play actioning, we're not really hitting a quick out, so I don't really get it. Play action read, it's kind of the flood concept, but it's not dedicated with the A button. The counter waggle, not so interested in that. This could be decent. I don't think B is going to get the ball in rhythm and timing here, but we can try it, especially with X close, so that he can hit the post and create a high-low type of scissors with A. The running back gets tackled. The boot to the right. See, here's what I mean by a dedicated run. Plus, A looks like he's releasing in the same direction as the blocks of handing it off. And then RB looks like he's going to run across, but they all break out, and they have different layers. So we're going to see if it's good. Just on paper, it looks fine. Middle read. We're going to have to see if this is just a duplicate play than what we already have. You know, the other reason I don't like it is we're not high-lowing B with someone to the flats. That's a reason. There's an auto motion. There's a level switch in regular levels. I like the idea of like the switch so they don't know what's coming. But again, if you just face any kind of man coverage, we're just cooked. If you face zone coverage, I mean, maybe one of these could be a half decent 2-point play, right? I think these are not open field, but these are 2-point plays. Okay, that's what I think it is. A is running the back line of the end zone. In this case, RB might be backline end zone. Plus, he looks like he's got like an inside slant kind of release and goes up. So these might be 2-point plays that we can try situationally. I don't like what RB is doing, and I think it's too fluster-clucky. We don't like the tosses. We already have our stretch in the form of the slant. There's the slip screen. With 3 wide receivers, I'm more likely to call a slip screen, so maybe I already have this play in here. The classic power O should be what it is. That should be obvious. I'm going to see if I actually have plays doubled up. There's the draw. I'm not against drawing the football with 3 wide receivers and a trip, so I want to see if I'm just doubled up plays. The counter, the dive in the counter, the double goes. That's not a goal line play, though. It really, really isn't. And I don't like the combinations here. I just don't like the way it's trying to slant, and it feels like it's a deep drop back. We already have the verts. The flood option, I think I would like it a little bit more if... What? I mean, maybe we can bring him tight. Like, we're willing to try some things. Bring the X receiver in tight. Double China. Is this truly a 2-point play? I don't think so. We can try it. Deep in. I really don't like what's happening with RB with B. It just looks like a flustercluck to me. With the weak release, I'm willing to look at stuff. There's a lot of plays here I'm willing to look at, especially with a tight set. Again, this is not a 2-point play. We do have the high-low with this, so maybe this curls. It's not a complete double, like double to the flats. We at least have something interesting with RB. Curl slot open. Double curl slot open. Again, not 2-point play, but regular play. That's 27, and then another 7. That's 34. So we definitely need to take plays away, and we're also maxed out at 378. There's no way we're going to keep this many plays, but there is a degree that we're still going to keep a lot because this is what we're going to go to as some of our 2-point plays, I think. But after wide trips, we get rid of all of the ace formations, right? So all of ace, the single back, we've used it all up. We can save it. We can practice it. We've spoken about it. We've explained it. Now we're going to practice it and make notes of what we want to cut. And because practice lets us auto pass, that's a huge deal. So let's go to practice. Let's practice against our common foe. Let's first set up the Boise's and the States. And I really like going up against Oregon State. I think they are a good matchup for us. And I don't mean matchup as in like we match up well against them. But look at that. 85 defenses, 85 offenses, and I guess their special teams kicks them over just a little bit. So they're like, they have a very good quarterback, not a great quarterback, just like us, very good, not great. They've got a fast running back, like they have a couple linebackers that can take things over. They've got a really powerful pass rusher off the end. Like, they have some nice stuff, just like we have nice things going on. Our DeMarcus Lawrence has like 97 spin moves. They've got a 95 power move guy. Like, we're not like a mirror match, but they've always been a fun team for me to play against. They've been a challenge. Getting the win against them feels really good. Losing to them makes me want to get that next win, where Oregon is just a class above us. We're just constantly fighting. Like, as a Boise State fan, I need to look if we've ever beat Oregon. I don't know if we have. Like, I'm not such a hardcore like I am the Niners, and I don't know a lot of college football, but I know as a casual fan of Boise State, anyone want to call me a bandwagoner? I've been around since before y'all even became famous. I've been a fan since 2003, 4 years before the famous run, but I'm still a casual. I'm not going to say a fair weather fan because I just don't really like college football that much, and it's hard to watch games. We're in the age of streaming now, but back in the day, it was hard to watch games. So I didn't grow up. I just chose to be as an adult a fan, and I love it. But we're getting off topic. Let's go to the uniforms and just give us the all blues. Love it. And then when we press here, I've got it set up. So let's go. Make it worth it. It loads everything up. I love the fact that it has the real-time setup too. Like, when I was playing in the evening, it was like getting later and later in the day as I was playing, and it literally had the day getting later in practice. That was a cool feature. It didn't just have a generic one time of day, like afternoon only. Like, it actually started getting darker and darker, and that was really, really cool. I believe when I practice at night, it's nighttime. When I practice here, it's like morning. Like, it actually matches up, and it feels good. Like, it feels like a nice, bright morning right now. Okay, we've got to go through it. We've got to check it out. And since we just spent time talking about it, why don't we take a look at the setup of why trips, and let's specifically look at our go for two plays, and we can set the ball up for that. Do we have any here? No. None here. Well, maybe double China. China. We go ask coach whatever because it doesn't matter. And we say we're going to first put the ball right here on... that's the 3-yard line? I thought go for two was 2. Maybe go for 2 is from the 3-yard line in college football. Don't call me dumb. I just don't watch enough college football. But we're going to put it on that line. Let's do this go for 2 kind of situation. Now, first thing we know is Kellen Moore's little brother. We want him tight. And we're going to see how they run their routes. And it should be auto pass. So let's just drop back, hit our back foot, and he throws this, and we get it. Now, the defense we're going up against is a cover whatever play. But we say wide trips. We scroll down. We say double China. And they go cover 2 buck because that's the kind of play that I would call in short yardage. And then we say to Kellen Moore's little brother. And we say snap it. Drops back, looks, and that's why we call that kind of cover 2 tight as opposed to the cover 6. Though cover 6 is in my repertoire, but it would be cover 6 flipped. He drops back. Like, you're in the stadium. It's like, all right, they need to go for 2 to tie this game and take it into overtime. He drops back from under center. He hits his back foot. He's looking. He's got pressure up the middle, and he's hit it. Oregon State's going to win it. You know, whatever. So what went wrong? And we're like in the film room and we're checking it out. It's like, hey, we got to have it play right now. And this is something that I do like. 32 is such a problem for us. Unlike Madden, he's actually willing to protect the front of the goal line. He's actually willing to protect the front of the goal line and not just drop back to the field goal post and stand back here and have the best seats in the house and watch a guy get wide open. I like the fact that he's willing to do that, and he's willing to hit you and prevent you from getting in there. Now, if you're going from the 2-yard line, this can actually be in the end zone, but there's a threat that you might not even make it. Some of the other things that I'm looking at here is, like as we said, the back line. How well is he attacking the back line? how well are we attacking the back line here, because sometimes, at least in Madden, they get kind of wonky and they don't know how to really run it out. I think it might be messing with the AI, the fact that they aren't true posts and back flags. So I think this play doesn't want to be a 2-point play. Just because we could complete that to be underneath doesn't mean that it's a true good 2-point play. But that's why we're practicing. We drop back, we see what he does. And when it's open, he's hitting it. So it's a good play to call, but I just wonder if it's the only route. And see here, 32 didn't try to stop it. He wasn't a problem for us. So I think that's it. Is he being a problem or not? Still not a valid reason, and enough conflict and enough options to get open that I may not use it. I like the idea of backlining it, but I don't think they're running. I think the computer is struggling to understand that, what I want to do versus what it's actually doing. Stick and ask coach, and coach is like blah blah blah, and I'm like, cover 2 sink I'm fine with, be a little tight or whatever, and then tell B to fade. So we're telling B to fade, we're telling Kellen Moore's little brother to get tight on the hash mark. And so we've got a strong attack to the right-hand side, which is the side of the quarterback's hand. There's nothing going on to the left, which bothers me. What options do they have? Swing left. Yeah, give me a swing left here. So we're going to have to say a swing left, so at least something's happening backside, and give me a fade front side. Snap the ball, 3-step drop, make a read, throws the swing. That's not how we get a 2-point play. Maybe we don't want that as an option because we don't want him to throw that bullshit. Right? Maybe that has to be the choice. Right? So maybe we don't. Okay? So here he gets set in motion. We say B, go there. Amor, I see you. I'm not ignoring you. I was just trying to finish my sentence. Come here, please, Amor. You want us to get ready at 11-ish, right? Now?
No. Are you live?
Yes, I'm live. It's fine. You're the most important thing in the world. You're more important than some video game. I love you. But the point is, we got to get ready to leave because we have our appointment at 12 o'clock, right? So I'm trying to get all this done. I love you so much. And I'm trying to get this done. At least go through these goal line, go for 2 plays. And then we can set everything up so that we can go and meet our appointment, okay? Te amo. You're the best. So we're going to drop back here. And we're really flooding the side of the field. That's another thing that I'm a little concerned with. We don't have to have Matt. I believe that's Matt Moore. Let me just get the actual information saying I guess or whatever. I don't know. Let's get real info since it's right here. Kirby Moore. Kellen Moore and Kirby Moore. Okay. So let's tell Kirby. He can stay there. I just don't like the fact that there's not many options for him so far wide out there. I don't know if that makes a big difference, but we'll find out. We drop back. And he looks, and he drops it, but it was in his hands. And we say, yeah, you're rolling to the flare, and we drop back. And yeah, it can be a good 2-point play. We don't have to get close. I think when we tighten it up with stick, it actually messes with the tight end's availability to get open. Let's call the classic wide receiver screen. Click Ask Coach. And coach is going to ask for... Ooh, the buzz is a play that I have in my combination as well. And they're playing tight on us, even though they're a cover 3. They're playing tight up. And then we've got that shot to X. So if we just user drop back, and then he throws it, and then we lose a bunch of yards, and we lose the football game. We drop back, he throws it, we lose a bunch of yards in the football game. Great. What about throwing this, and he drops it, and we lose the football game? Not a lot of confidence in that. Hit the back foot, throw it to B quickly, and wow, he couldn't even complete it. That's me pressing the user button. I'm just I'm hitting the back foot step, I'm setting up, and then I'm mashing the B button. Wow, he just can't even throw that? Like, what is the deal, yo? And regardless... Wow, that is dog shit. What if I just don't push anything at all? Like, he kind of throws this weird wonkiness. Well, that's why you go into practice, because that is trash, yo. But that's one play that we can definitely 100% cut. More 2-point plays. We like stick. It's working well for us. Levels and level switch were definitely on our list. So coach is not going to come out in goal line when we've got 3 wide receivers. But coach can definitely come out and give us other looks. Play type, cover 2 zones, the classic buck, the classic sink. Those are plays that they can hit us in short yardage because they're taking the flats away. And then they're able to do other things. They're able to get a bunch of middle zones. So RB is able to get release and run back line without any problems. And everyone is just, instead of strong attacking the flood to the right, we're flooding everything to the left. But is there anything other than just getting sacked? That's the problem. They're flooding zones and we're flooding just routes across. See, that's the other thing. They get the push and we're getting hit at that point. Like when we finish the drop back, like what is it? It's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 set, ready, and we basically got pressed outside and inside. That messed with timing. No one's getting open here. He's got a buy time. That means you need your offensive line to protect. You're asking a 5-step drop plus extra time. It's just not good. I mean, you got to reward good defense, but you also got to punish bad offense. And that looks and feels like bad offense. It doesn't feel like we're truly conflicting or anything, the defense. We're not conflicting that cover 2 set, if that makes sense. So let's get rid of bad offense and reward good defense, because if we are playing good offense and they still stop us, that's how you reward good defense. We hit our back step, and we're looking, and there's people jamming, and he's freaking out, and he doesn't know what to do, and he throws an interception, and that could be returned for points to lose the game or whatever. So what's happening? They're obviously pressing. And is this a 7-stepper? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's a 7-stepper. And we still don't have anything open. Right? And they're even pressing inside in the slot. I mean, they've pressed us up, which again, 0 complaints. Even with a 7-stepper, we're still not even ready to throw this to like a back pylon flag kind of thing. And he's kind of going to stop it. So to me, the levels is not a good 2-point play. Since it's not a good 2-point play, why am I even running it at all? I mean, that's an honest question. So if we can get rid of both levels and level switch, and we can get rid of some other plays here, that's going to, not overload our situation, right? We're not going to be overloaded with too many plays here. Stick, nod. I don't think we want stick, nod in terms of a 2-point play. We can look at the possibilities of 2-point playing this. If we say, is he running that? No. If we say, run that normal route. But you stick, nod in terms of what A and RB are conflicting them to do. And if it's a stick nod like this, why can't we just run our normal slant? But we're just alternating what A and RB are doing. Because that's what I want to do. I want some variety. I want some spice of life here. So he drops back. He pump fakes it. And then he completes the ball, but it's not good enough. See, that looked cool as fuck. Just looked cool. Dropping back 1, 2, 3. And then boom, throws the auto pump fake. Like the stick to get him biting, and it's so beautiful. It's like, oh, we're gonna get you, we're gonna boom, throw that, and he's looking for the football, boom, but then he actually goes up behind and throws it to the back, but no, he doesn't. Okay, so you go like that, and you run that like a normal stick combination, and boom, and then we hit it. Oh no, it's a fake, and then he just gets sacked. Might be a really nice play. Like, I'm not willing to just straight up cut it. Might be a nice play in the open part of the field, right? But as far as a 2-point play, it's not working. And that's fine. We want to try it in other situations. These rollouts we're not ready for. Other 2-point plays here. Not verticals or draws or anything. Z spot is a 2-point play that we wanted to try. So again, we're just going to show him a cover 2 buck. Right? And we can leave him here. We can bring him tight, especially if we're going to roll. We probably want him a bit tighter. See if that has a conflict with B and X. Maybe leave him where he is. We're willing to try it a few different ways. But we should be attacking a short break by RB to the back pylon. We should be the front of the end zone goal line, and we should be the flag. So we should be happy with both the front flag and the back pylon, and just a spot in the end zone here with the rollout and a backside play. So boom, and he's looking, and he doesn't throw it either, but he gets it and he converts it. And that right there, game on the line. Down by 2. We need this for overtime. And he's rolling out naked. Can he run it? You just run it, man. Just run it. Oh, my God. Right? Like, that's supposed to be the excitement and the fun. And he's in the flats. And then the corner comes up, and he's like, what? And, like, why doesn't the corner just intercept this? Right? And then you've got other problems. Like, if we're just being honest. Like, okay, he's trying to catch this to the back pylon. Like, why aren't we throwing this to the back pylon? Why are you dogging this? Because the ball's not in the air. But he dogs it out, and then he's out of bounds, and he's not eligible anymore, and that's a problem. What if we just, like, roll out, and then we're like, oh, he just threw it automatically. Okay, that's nice. So we saw 2 different times that he converted it, and he auto wants to roll out, and he converts that automatically as well. And then he wants to roll out, and he's throwing that, and that technically was a catch and conversion. He's like quick stopping his rollout. Okay, ready, set, and then you roll out, and he's dropping it, but we've got it. I think this has a lot of potential as a nice 2-point play. Right, so we like it. And when I say 2-point play, that can also be 3rd and goal. Right, I hope that makes sense, but we call it like a 2-point play. Like, just in terms of terminology. Like, I gotta have it, 4th and goal, 2 points, 3rd and goal, like, to tie it, whatever the case is. If we've got a series of those, then it's not just like, well, they call this one play. Right? But we put stick, and we put the Z spot, and we put some plays in there. And then we're happy and we've got some variety. So then we line up. They're not just, oh, this is the situation, this is the formation, they're running this one play. Right? Unders was a play we were going to look at. So let's look at unders. And again, we're just playing against cover 2 buck. But this is a common kind of defense that should want to attack that. And let's see how they handle it. Let's drop it back. Hits the back step. He's able to complete it along the front line. What if we tell X to do that, to fade, and we just drop back? And again, hey, we either got it or we didn't. We were either in the end zone or we weren't. But at least we played a good play. We threw it up there. He high-pointed it. The ball was hard to tell. That's crossing the plane for me. But then he comes down out of the end zone. So you're not on the ground with the ball. So does the ruling, I mean, sorry, but tell me, does the ruling mean like it was caught in the end zone and he fell out? Because that's not a catch until now. To me, this isn't a catch until he comes down and he's not in the end zone and we fail. So from 3 yards out, we don't like it. Right? But there he gets it. So it comes down to execution, the Jimmies and Joes rather than the X's and O's, which is what this is all about. So at least right now, I like it. It works. He knows how to read it. He knows how to throw it. It's a threat. Right? That's a feature. Y trail is what kind of started this whole conversation. So let's actually do wide trail, right? You've got the double flares, whatever, and you've got different players catching the ball. You've got A catching the ball right there for the score. You had, I think, B catching one of the passes. You could potentially have RB catching the pass up here, right? You can just throw it out of the back of the end zone. That's not how you win football games, Southwick. And then he's still going to the tight end on the trail. And he goes here. Very nice. He drops back. A drop, but gave his guy a chance. Why is he throwing it away? That's 2 throwaways. You can't throw it away to end the game, bro. You can't throw it away to end the game. That would be a terrible feeling. Who's he trying to throw to, and why is it being thrown away? Is he trying to throw a receiver and something's messing up in the video game? That was me just trying to auto throw it to him. Like, they drop back, and then there's like a press. And I auto threw that, or I physically auto threw. I threw user through that play. Like, as he dropped back and he hadn't thrown it, and I saw this, like, this pressure wasn't much of a pressure. It was more of a beat rather than, like, the other animation. And then he did this, and I just pressed X lead left. And I love that animation. I just love the fact. Getting the ball to Kirby more. Boom, boom, boom. Like, that would be a make it play. Let's go. And then they start lifting the player. Like, oh my God, you did it. And he hung on. Let's go. Like, that's excitement. This is a play that I would throw to Anquan Bolden in this game because he's a 49er. Not because he's a 49er, but as a 49ers fan and he's on the team, I would throw the ball to these fades to Anquan Bolden. Let's go. Like, if they're going to do that kind of release, that's really nice that you can throw that pass. It's a good play. So the wide trail works as well. So we have our 2-point pass plays, but we don't have wide receiver screen. That's a thing. That's a concern. But yeah, the unders was a good shot. That got it to B. So we have like RB, B, A. Like, everyone can get the ball in different scenarios. We've got the rollout and the regular dropbacks. And there's obviously just like hitting them with other looks. I don't think we want draw, but we can take a look at it as they go through. We drop. And then it's just a handoff to get messed up. Do we have a pump draw? I don't think we've got a pump draw out of this. There's the plunge and the power O and so on and so forth. And the streaks. Just regular ass draw. Weak draw. It's not exactly Statue of Liberty, but it kind of is. Like, it's not a play fake Statue of Liberty, but in a lot of ways it literally is drop back and then hand it off behind you. And like do the weak side run. That is definitely on theme. That's on brand. Let's go. We're all kicking everything to the left. We're going to drop back and throw. And oh, they pulled off the Statue of Liberty! They did it again! Let's go! Like, everyone knows in the stadium that Boise State's going to try to Statue of Liberty again. And they do. And they make it work even when you knew it was going to happen. Oh my God. I love it. It's not 100%, but it feels like it in this case. And the fact that I kicked the entire line left. Like, we're going to pass block the blind side. We're not run blocking. And then we just release 72 and 77 upfield. Hit those guys, and we just get it right up that gut. How good does that feel? Let's go. There's some fun there, huh? There's a lot of fun there. Okay. So we already know some plays that we want to cut. And that's where we said we wanted to start with some of those plays. We wanted to talk about bunch spread. We wanted to talk about wide receiver screen. we wanted to say cover 2 zone buck, whatever they're like lined up in, and we drop back, and then he throws it out here, and he gets it. Like, that play has to work for us to even try Statue of Liberty, right? And then another time it doesn't work, and it's like ruined. And you've got to have the threat of this getting in the end zone. And once you have that set up, and let's say you call statue, and you call man zone, like that, it's just not a good video game play. It's a great real life play, but it's not a good video game play. Right? They don't bite on it at all for a damn second. Right? And why wouldn't we just screen it up against those 2 players? Like, honestly, there's no reason why we wouldn't, right? So let's, like, we wouldn't run this play against that front anyway. We'd just throw the screen. So let's call statue. Let's call goal line. Goal line man. Again, we would just screen. They only have 1 defender out there? Like, where is a play where they're going to actually line up and respect that screen? Just like uncontested, right? So how do you make them like line up and respect it? It's 4 wide receivers, right? So you call statue against formation dollar dime. Dime has got to be dime, right? And then like a dime linebacker blitz, like sending the whole house. I would still just screen this, right? Wow, I can't audible. Wow. Okay, that sucks. So again, no, not statue, whatever. I'll pick whatever play, whatever. Yeah, even here. Like, why would you... Is there anything, if you were, let's say, the defense, and I'm calling wide receiver screen, what would we possibly call? What is going to get them to man up out there? How is this not going to just turn into a money play? Like, maybe put the 4 guys over there, and then you draw it back, and I throw it out here, and you catch me because of the shitty locomotion of the video game. Yeah, the shitty locomotion of the video game means if they're all boxed up, then we don't have a chance, right? Because he's just so slow when he gets the ball. It's like he's slower than walking. Like, I swear I could walk into the end zone faster than he's doing this. He turns around, dead stop, and he's like, I'm going to turn around. And he's like, I'm going to stutter, and I'm just going to jog. Like, I don't have any sense of urgency to get in the end zone. Instead of just here and turning to the right, he turns to the left. He's like, I'm going to turn around all the way like this, and I'm going to jog and not even try to run. What the fuck? That's not what I wanted. Original play. Then set up hot route. Oh god, this is taking forever. Hot route A. Then I say slant. No. Hot route A out. Sure. Try it. They all line up. And that should be like pass interference, like offensive pass interference, like walking down the field. But it's interesting to fuck with this stuff. Because I do like the idea, like that's super offensive pass interference. Like you're literally blocking the guy. Like if inside 5 yards, like you can make contact. So if we're at 3 yards, like still, I think it's the outside guy that's committing the penalty. But we hit here and we're like, okay, A. go out. And that's just like dangerous, and we'll see if they'll throw the flag or not, but I also don't like it when the video game lets you break the rules. What if we slant in and whip out like that? Like, that's a little cooler. Right? We're releasing, like, no, coach, they're pressuring us. They were pressing us. Whatever, right? So maybe not the screen, but we still have the formation, if that makes sense. Maybe we can even build our own plays. Like, it's called screen, but what are the plays really? Are you kidding me? Right thumbstick, right? Come on, right thumbstick. It's not the thumbstick, it's not my controller. It's just this fucking college football video games. They get something wrong. Madden doesn't do it, any of my other games don't do it, but the college football games will just randomly go, I think you have moved the right thumbstick, and it's just stuck going in one direction, like to the left or whatever. So fucking stupid. Okay, so we have statue, we have screen, we have the run. So on screen, I wonder if I'm allowed to hot route RB. Yes, I am. So what if RB, what if A, and what if X? We had like layers or whatever. What if X were to slant and A were to like zig and RB were to, and they don't have smart route, they do have smart route like that. What if A were to slant and X were to zig? Okay, and RB were to do that. It's so nasty. I like the fact that you can just like create a combo on the fly. But what do they do to stop that bunch? It seems cheesy in its own way because they don't like man align. If I just call the regular screen, the whole point is, can I get them to man align? We're at 4 wide receivers. If they won't man align, that's really frustrating as a user. That's a little bit closer. If I can get them, I'm going to call statue. And they come out and like cover one robber. And we do that and we hand it off like this to the edge. And then it's about the quality of blocks. And now statue is working. Right? We get them to box up out there. I also don't like how he goes drifting off to the right. He starts drifting to the right instead of straight back, and then it's so stupid. The video game is like, oh, we're going to do this, the football flip. I don't know how noticeable that is when it's happening live, but it's just very typical EA shitty coding. To be like, oh, here, everything is perfect, just let him get the football. No, we're going to snap it here and then snap because he has to get the ball from that hand. I bet the video game is like, yeah, he has to get the ball from that hand when there's, again, no reason for it either. Like, he's ready to take it in the animation from that hand. So dumb. Okay. But as we saw, Ryan Clady was the tackle in the real game. And then he's pulling out here. And his job is to get this 44 guy and seal the edge. And also part of the fun here is like this guy's getting sucked up by that screen pass or whatever, and then we're breaking it out. And so he's taken out of the play. And now we're asking this tight end to finish a block out here. You know, and he doesn't. We can't really move him anywhere, can we? Let's quick throw the screen. And it's just ugly as fuck. And the safety comes in, and 78 doesn't really do much. I guess he does whip around and gets his guy. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, but they get us. I'm not going to waste a bunch of time on this specific play, but since it's such a special play, like literally in the history of the game, and it shouldn't be an auto touchdown, but it should have the threat, right? It's the fact that he's making the stop, and that's fine. Because in real life, it was a player like this. There was a player in the middle of the field before that like ran this way. And so when you had this combination against this blocker, it was just Ian Johnson running to the sidelines. And also Ian Johnson was a lot faster than Jay Ajayi. So you're trying to like manpower it. I do also like the fact that with the same defensive look, sometimes we're scoring and sometimes we're not, so it's not an exact money play. It gives enough of like a full speed look. Like you're going to throw it and then the hand is like that. The fact that it snaps there within like a few frames still looks stupid, but it looks good enough. We drop back and the safety's angle and we just take off. It's fine. The Y20 set. Quick throw and then get out there. And then it's a battle and he's in the end zone. You can score on it, and that's better than some previous versions of the game. But it's also not guaranteed. So that's nice. We don't need to keep harping on that same play. And then obviously when we're on a left hash or whatever here, do we have any screen here? We've got the power toss. We've got the QB sneak. No, we're not going to do the power toss to death. But we can go ask coach, and we can do like Sam Blitz or whatever. And maybe he gets stuck, maybe he doesn't, or maybe the backup is in, or whatever. We need to get the blocks. We need to do whatever. We run it 2 more times. I don't care that he gets stuck. I'm not going to complain about him getting stuck. Just can we run the ball in? And no, we really can't. But when they're stacked up like this, we wouldn't do the pitch anyway. We would want a situation where we get them overloaded to a side and we threaten them so that we can make the pitch work. Right? We need the value of the counters and the other things. So, does the H zone weak work? Send him across. Hand it off. And no, there's just nothing. The edge says that. Outside defender says no. So we basically got to watch the blocks on the edge of the offensive line between Huff and the tackle. And we're just trying to power it inside. And 32 is such a problem. He's such a problem. Good for him. I'm happy for him. Like, as a coach, I'm happy for this young man. Like, fuck, it makes me want to draft him. Right? Like, fuck, he's such a fucking problem. Damn. I don't know about speed. Like, dude is such a problem. But yeah, we're looking at just like, can we get the drive blocks like this? We're not trying to really kick out. And can we lead? And we can. There's a lot that we can do. At what point, because of this alignment, are we just going to run it like that? I think that's the other issue. Why are we trying to get tricky and shit when we just have so many blockers to the strong side and we just punch their face and we just try to drive the ball in, right? Why did you wash him out? Third time. Not good enough. Not fast enough. Doesn't just get there. There's the power aspect. 32 is such a problem. And look at that. It looks so stupid. So fucking dumb in the video game. That's what I worry about. But the idea is, if we're just trying to double this edge, let's just, 89, just keep doubling the edge. Double and pummel that edge. And let us fight. I don't know. Might not use it for regular goal line situations. Might use it for other short yardage situations. That's why you practice. Yeah. Maybe just regular short yardage situations. We'll find out. We already did all of this. There's more plays to practice. I definitely need to take time and get ready with my wife to go out. These are not goal line plays. I never expected them to be goal line plays. I expected to be able to go through more plays, but that's fine. Let's respot the ball. Let's get some of the plays I at least put as flip teams. What is it? Weird. That's not on practice options. Whatever. Let's just call a play. Just call a play. I don't care. And we're going to say bunch first to the right. So we're compressed and we have plenty of space. And we're going to take a look at some of these plays here. Correct? It's all right. Clear out option. Cover 3, cloud strong. The reason they don't want that is because we're in a bunch. So they would probably audible to some man kind of formation. So let's go play type. I would call man against a bunch. Maybe a cover 1 like this. No, the alignment isn't good. How about a cover 1 press like this in the middle? That way you've got the middle of the field high zone safety. You've got the linebackers kicked over to the bunch side. You're still able to high-low the middle of the football field. That to me seems really good, like in terms of a core idea. But we're in 3 wide receivers, so no. Let's try clear out option again, but let's go by formation, and let's go with a nickel and flip the nickel. And do they have like a kind of a cover 1 robber? They do have a cover 1 robber, but let's reflip it like this. So they're at least manning us up like that. They're showing us too high, which we'd probably just run on, but let's see what kind of pass play it is. Let's do first one. Again, there's auto throwing, and he's just off target, which often is just auto tell him to go. And why does he run so deep versus the play art? But we've talked about how, like, yeah, right here, you can see how he chugs. See how he chugs. He chugs so much right there. Like, he'll run really fast. Boom, 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 boom. Step. Walk it off. It's like the quarterback is not inaccurate. The route is trash. So just run the out. Let me just force you to run it out. And I bet you can actually complete it. I'm worried about that. We have 90 accuracy. It's college 90 accuracy, but we have 90 accuracy. And he's missing that shot. It kind of feels like he's chugging that out too. Doesn't it? Watch 34. Boom, 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 boom. Like he's just like walking it out. Yeah, like he's even standing up. Like instead of like running hard, he just kind of chugs it out. And it feels like he would have been in position to catch it. And it's a video game issue, I believe. I don't think that other receivers just magically run it better. Because the other thing I wanted to show you is the way the video game is coded. I think when it's not the option route, watch 17. There might be a little slug and chug there, but it's really, he's trying to get locomotion. He's not really chugging it out. Right? Boom, boom, boom. Whatever. Interesting. Yeah, I think they chug no matter what out of the break. Yeah, they locomotion chug out of the break. And I don't think it's like a QB accuracy thing. I think it's a situation where as a user, you have to like wait for the route to develop. You have to wait for it, sit on it. You have to pass lead it in a little bit. Like he goes out. Yeah. I'm going to user hold back the stick. Then we get sacked. If I start pressing down. And then... No, it does it automatically. I'm going to press down whenever he does this and let go. Yeah, it's like... Maybe also he's throwing it before the rest of the drop back is finished. Yeah, he's throwing it as the back foot hits, which is like kind of fine. But he's not letting the full drop back animation finish. Like, that's me. I just press down. I wonder if it will auto-throw. Yeah, if I press snap, holding down, let go. Holding down, letting go. Yeah. That's the problem with some of these plays. It's like they work. And for a user, they work. But they just don't work as is. Because they chug, because of the timing, because of everything. Hi, Amor. I saw the time. I know. Like, this is literally what I'm finishing up. We're all good. Alright, so that play, the corner strike, like those are the things that I'm worried about. I can test the runs in a little bit. I wanted to check sprint out. I really wanted to check sprint out before we leave. Because that is like my uneven number of plays. And we don't really want to sprint out towards the boundary. Do we care? And see, he's not catching it in stride. Like, I'm glad that he connects, but we just have Kirby tight to the line, like super bunched up. We literally, the middle of the field, look at that X painted on the field behind the 30-yard line on the 35. And A, he's like lined up directly over the goalpost and all of that. And we literally have guys flanking him, and the rest of the team is to the left. So we're like literally in the middle of the field and have lots of space to work with. And we're going to sprint out to that middle of the field. And now he's got space and we can do things. Yeah, that play works. It's a good play, I guess. And then spacing switch should be okay. Boot slide. I wonder how well boot slide works in a compressed set like this. Do we run out of football field for RB? I don't think so, because he has to come all the way across. We do this, and then he's just not... The boot slide just doesn't work very well. Like, I mean, there's like man coverage and blah, blah, blah. But it's like they're not biting on this run. They're jumping the routes. So no one's biting the run. And everyone's just covered, and we just eat sugar, honey, and iced tea, right? And I'm not going to throw a play away because there's a defense that can stop it, but there's no real conflict. There's no, like, alternative or whatever. With whip routes and stuff against man, you might be able to get open. But what else? Not a fan of that. Destroy we could look at later. Okay, yeah, I mean, if there's going to be a play that we're going to cut, you know. I don't know what it's going to be. Wide trips, we can also look at the auto rollouts here. I just want to get some of these out of the way and then get ready and go with my wife. So if it's trips, we're going to do the man coverage, the robbery, because that's the goal, right? Like, if we can beat man coverage, we can beat zone, but can we beat man coverage? We're rolling out with our quarterback, and then we're throwing underneath the man coverage. That's nice. He drives the corner off, and he throws it away. Great. He rolls out towards the middle of the field. The launch point is changed, and we can throw it underneath. Whereas the other play, the play action, like there was just nothing to stop it. So we're fine. We're not going to waste too much time. Like, it works there, so at least it works. Let's try rollout smash. I also forgot to auto motion Kirby. So Kirby, get in here. And what does the quarterback do? He rolls out. He doesn't get sacked immediately. And he almost throws an interception by throwing into coverage there. And I'm kind of not a fan of it not being an interception. The defender is off the ball. Maybe we like the other play a lot better. We roll up like this. And he basically wants to throw interceptions. So that play is going to get cut probably off camera. When I get home, I'm just going to go set this up and not waste your time. And the levels and all of that stuff, I know like what's going to get cut. As soon as I look at it, I can even rewatch my own video back. Or there are other plays that we specifically want to look at. Play action, boot, roll. So the Z spot, yeah, we already looked, and that is a good play. Okay. The wide receiver screen, yeah, I remember those. All of those were like going to be cut. Anything else that we specifically wanted to try? Play action Y post corner is a play that we wanted to look at. So we're going to look at it against cover robber, and we're going to left hash mark this thing because that's the point of this. So we're trying to see what's going on with Kirby. We fake it, and then we just throw the check down because they didn't want to recognize our running back, and we picked up the yards we wanted. So we looked downfield and checked it down. I'm okay with that with Southwick. He's looking, he doesn't see anything he likes, which is a problem to me that he doesn't like anything and that he has to check down. But at least we have the check down there for him. And you're kind of wondering, well, if you're too high like this, shouldn't we just run the ball? Well, yeah, you've got a point there. But we're just trying to look at the plays. And really, what are we even doing here? I'm probably going to cut because, like, it's still, what in the world are we even doing? What else? I wanted to show you X under. I was practicing this on my own. I said we can just drop back and look. Do we throw to A? Right, we can just as a human. We can just drop back and say, okay, the leverage, we'll just throw it. No other read as a human. We're just going to read the leverage of the linebacker, like the coverage. And it gets broken up, and we hit our back step. It's not the best idea in the world. I don't like how they get all clustered like that. I didn't see that problem earlier. Maybe I'm throwing it too late. I was having a situation where against various zones, I think that's it. I think we don't push anything at all, and like he gets the attention of the linebacker. That ball position is so bad. It's what makes me want to increase the quarterback accuracy some more. Because he's throwing it behind him. Now, we only have 90 accuracy as a quarterback, but seriously, we're in 90 accuracy and we're throwing it behind our wide receiver as an auto throw. Yeah, now I led right. You as a user. I think it has to do with maybe the press. Maybe that's what it was. Is like he's not being, or he is being pressed. Maybe like when they lose the press, there's like a better spacing. Because I wasn't having this problem with like two guys spaced up together like that, if that makes sense. Whatever, it's still a lot of fun. And even if we don't use or throw it, I still like the idea. What if we... No. Is there... It says drag, fade, streak, curl, whatever. Was there like a right trigger smoke? Maybe he hangs on like that. I was just trying to think of a way of keeping the man corner like locked up underneath. B button, right trigger, yes. The route versus the art are just two very different things. He's being pressed and released. Now, I can understand if he doesn't want to smoke screen it and he turns it into kind of a go curl or whatever because the smoke screen is getting jammed. So what if, does he run it like, I think he's running it properly. Does that make sense? Like he's getting pressed, so then he's like, no, screw you. And that can definitely be like a user situation, right? Yeah, I think that this route and this receiver are really just fighting the man coverage with options. He tries to smoke screen, and as he gets pressed, he has inside release. So he says, okay, inside release, I'll do this and get my body leverage against you. Right? I love how dirty they get in practice. Right? They're filthy. Right? It's a bit too much, but you get the idea. Wow. I mean, he's outside release, inside release, like different stuff. I love the versatility there. That's some hot shit. Right? I'm loving it. And then the right thumbstick has decided to be stupid again. Let's get back to normal. Other plays. I don't think there's anything else. The cutback and the counter is a lot of fun. I think the cutback has enough time. This is the situation with the cutback. There is just like the power play where the running back just straight runs it left and the guard doesn't have time to get the block, and then the cutback buys time for the guard to get the block, you know? Yeah, I like it. Alright, and it's going to be get ready time here. Just checking, is there any other play for me to check out at this point? Nothing like auto rollouts or anything I had doubts on. We already had all of those and the jumbo Z's. Like, we know the power toss isn't the best, but we just threw that in there to throw it in there. The boot left is something I have my doubts in. I can finish a lot of this on camera, but you got a lot of the ideas out of Ace. And another time that I go live, we're going to take a look at some of these I formations, which Boise right now doesn't even have a true fullback, so we should avoid these in this very specific year of our dynasty. But that doesn't mean we can't look for a fullback in the future. It doesn't mean we can't at least have the plays for some specific reason or advantage. That's going to be a thing we're going to consider. We might look at some of the pistol action and all of that. So I think the weak, strong, and normal eyes, regardless of our personnel, is something that we're going to spend time with in our next video. And now that we've done single back stuff, after single back and the eye formations, we can look at maybe pistols or gun. But we can get through this playbook. But one of the other core ideas, folks, is except for Wildcat, we're not really removing any formations or adding formations at this time. We're just taking the Boise State playbook that they have and refining it so that it functions better, if that makes sense. And I'm really happy with it. I'm really happy with my audience. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to see you maybe even later today. Take care and Godspeed, right?